Hello and welcome back to A Foreigner and Family in the Philippines. And I'm back here on the farm. Taking a look at some coffee trees that we have that have a lot of berries because I want to see about harvesting some of those berries. And it's these two trees, about two of them over there. How will they show up? But those two trees over there are both coffee. One's a little thicker and one's a little thinner there on the left. Both of those are just loaded with coffee beans, so I decided to come back here and take a look at some of the others because there are some other coffee trees. I thought this guy was a coffee tree, but it's a jackfruit tree, and it's probably a jackfruit tree that's a volunteer from this jackfruit tree, which I could actually do a pro tip series, but I'm totally ripping it off another YouTuber that I watch right from back home about tamping down the roots for a fallen tree. They did it for mangoes, but this is a jackfruit tree. I did not, when it fell over, I didn't put it back up and tamp down the roots. If I wanted to try and save it, that's how I would have done it. So you can see that part of that jackfruit tree died as a result, but there's still several. This side over here, and then the other side of it is still alive. I don't know if that one's going to recover or not. I'm not overly worried about the jackfruit though. I made a guttural grunt over there as I picked up the machete. So I'll try and keep this steady as I make my way down. But this is also where we have bananas here. It's real thick. That little space there, I didn't get to do the border trees over here yet. So which means I could potentially decide on a different type of tree. I would like to do. I don't want to do one of the protected ones because I want to be able to cut them down without an issue. But there were a couple that I was interested in. And with the remaining bit of the rainy season, we do have some crop deals going on. I'll make videos on those separate, but for now though, I don't want to waste any time trying to plant some border trees. I need to focus on the trees that are the banana trees, the banana plants. But this is one of the coffee bushes I came down to. That's the reason I'm making the video. I came over to this section to take a look at these. They're loaded with berries. They're gonna get banditized if I don't get to them like right when they're ready. So the berries are still green. When they turn red, you can pick them, and then you dry them, mill them, and sell them. I want to look at this tree. I guess I'll leave the video on while I'm going over here. And just try and keep her steady. And we are in the process. We're working our way over here. I mean, these aren't too bad with the weeds, but we got to get over here because there are some areas that are. Actually, this isn't bad at all. Well, we got these one getting overtaken by some weeds. Had a little bamboo mishap on it. And we're almost over to this side for that. We're actually going through and spraying for we had removed all those bunchy tops, and I want to get rid of some of those aphids, which are the carriers, which are, I don't even know if it's a carrier because they get it on their mouth parts, and so they're not holding it inside, but they are a carrier. They do carry it over. So we've removed all those bunchy top bananas, which is good because that's the virus. We don't want the fungus. And this is a little tiny This is a small coffee tree, but I can tell by the base on it there that it was big at one time. It's loaded, even though it's a small one. It's loaded with the coffee berries. Actually, all the way up to the top even. And so we've got, I guess it was just the 4 on this side. I thought there were more, but all 4 of those coffee trees are loaded. And then we've got a whole bunch more in the back, which are sparsely packed. But we'll go ahead and we'll see about harvesting those as soon as they start turning red. This is where we are sacking some bananas. We did switch to the blue bags. We were using the sacks, but we were still getting the mildewing on the bananas. I mean, they were still great looking bananas, almost perfect. It did increase. It seemed like they increased their size a little bit, but they just had a little bit of spotting on there, and that's enough to where you get the lower price. And so we're working on it. We need to get longer bunches, and hopefully that'll come from the tissue cultures that we planted. And then at the bottom, we weren't tying it, so we got straw here because the wind was blowing them up and then they were getting caught. So now we'll be able to tie them. And hopefully that cuts down on the mildew, so we can command the higher price per kilo. And while he's there, he's just pruning it a little bit, although we are working our way back to do a weeding and a pruning. And so while we're doing this, while we're doing the sacking today, we're counting how many bunches of bananas we'll have. So tomorrow, when we go to harvest, we'll kind of have an idea of how many, because we are going to harvest tomorrow. We have also the same person who's going to harvest our lanzonis. We have a couple lanzoni trees with some lanzonis on it, and the price per kilo on the lanzonis is 20 pesos per kilo. We've heard it as high as 30, but then when you get somebody out here, they're doing the harvesting and providing the boxes for it. So and it happens to be our banana guy, so I'll go ahead and just settle for the 20 pesos per kilo. But and which is fine, because 2 of the trees are up front. Those are the most loaded, but we'll have them go to the back, and there's a couple trees back there that are thinly, so it's going to be a little effort for them. So you got to go all the way to the back, and there won't be too many up there unless he can get to them. I just know that I would have trouble getting them. The lanzoni tree it's a skinnier tree. The branches are it would be a tougher tree to climb. I did some videos where I got up and pruned in the durian trees and the mango trees. That's fine, but the lanzonis are a little more challenging. So, and they're moving on to another section, it looks like, where we have some other bananas that need to be sacked. So, and once we harvest that coffee, though, I will make a video I'll show the video when we're drying it, and I'll keep it updated as to how much we actually made from those coffee trees. Again, that was 4 coffee trees over there that are loaded with coffee beans. There are probably another 6 trees on the back side, way over that way, that are very thinly populated, or have coffee berries on them, and then probably another 6 that have medium amount of coffee berries on them. So it'll be interesting to see what those actually yield. And all I did with those bananas this year too, I didn't fertilize them, but we did fertilize the bananas. I don't know if I think I just said that. All I did with those coffee trees this year was they only got the fertilizer that was run off from the bananas here. Oh, and the corn. That's probably why these are just buck loaded, is because there was some fertilizer for the corn that was planted over there previously, and then we fertilized since we planted the banana over there. They're also got probably a little runoff from that as well. But the other thing that I did was just take off some of those like parasitic orchids, and because it seems like they were causing damage to the trees. Not necessarily, definitely not a symbiotic relationship on that one. And there's also these other tuber vines that were crawling up them. I took those off, and the ants seem to love those. I don't know, the ants didn't seem to have too much of an effect on the tree, but those kind of tuber vine things were kind of rotting up the tree a little bit. So took care of those, and the coffee seemed to spring back. So I'll keep an eye on what those coffees do. And I'm standing here looking around at these bananas. These were the bananas that were here that we've taken care of. We filled in the gaps finally, and these produce small bunches. And it looks like we're not tying we were supposed to be tying the bottoms of these with straw. It doesn't look like we got to that. And this might be because this isn't the windy. It's protected by the hill here, but I'm going to check on that later on. But I am still going because I'm looking. Most of these are Lacatan bananas. However, like this grouping here, which has too many, I need to cut some of those, are Saba bananas. This grouping here are Saba, and then these, I think most of these in this little section right over here are Saba. So we don't have too many Saba bananas. And I'm just looking to see if any of these down here are flowering or have a banana heart sprouting. Nope. And so there are two bunches on those Saba there. Kind of small bunches, and we had some issues where the Saba over here have some sort of, and it was because we weren't taking the hearts off of them. They were having some sort of issue. So I need to take a look at these bunches here, and if those bunches aren't good because we took care of them, we thinned out the Saba, we took off the hearts when we were supposed to. If those still have that issue, then I'm going to go ahead and eliminate those patches and probably replant. And I'll go ahead and stop her there. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.